Alright, so here's Sarge's stuff, episode 1A, A New Era. So let's talk about where this is coming from. So, obviously, Sarge's stuff is going to be about my stuff. The tree to the right, the three stripes, kind of that Sarge. We'll make a tree because we're going to end up with a bunch of sawn and lumber, plus other things. Episode 1A. I watch YouTube and I can never tell you what order episodes are in, so I'm really going to try to keep episodes in order so you can follow along and not get lost. A new era, well, I'm approaching retirement from public service for almost 30 years. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up, and I've decided I'm going to definitely do some sawmilling. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for a retirement gig. Got a lot of different options. Things are out there. I'm just going to see what happens. Applied from some other jobs. Do I stick around at home? I don't know. We're going to see. So, like I kind of said in episode 1, we're going to throw out videos right now. That's what all the YouTubers say. We'll see what happens. So, how did I get here? Well, again, I'm getting ready to retire. Don't know what I was going to do for life. Decided, well, I really love auctions. I love working. We bought property back in Eastern Washington. Gonna probably retire back over there. We just logged it. There is a ton of timber that's down that they didn't take to the mills. A lot of it is just firewood, but there's a lot of cedar, a lot of fir, a lot of pine. We'll end up throwing some pictures up of those, maybe some drone footage that I took over the summer. Started talking about milling. Should I buy a mill? Should we pay for somebody to mill? Watched a bunch of videos online. Some sawn with Sandy's out there. Some Beyond Boring or West of Boring. The guys and folks in Boring, Oregon. Paid a lot of attention to a lot of different mills. At one point I thought about, hey, maybe I can open a boutique mill. Well, I'm not buying a wood miser. I'm not buying a $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 wood mill at this point. I've never milled in the past. I'm not a big woodworker. I've cut timber. I've done yard work. I've done acreage work, but nothing like that. So I decided, well, let's just look into milling for ourselves. Woodland kind of ended up at that homesteader type mill, that price range. Then they had their 15-year anniversary with free shipping, and the last day, after talking to a bunch of friends, got a coworker that's got one, a guy that I knew that retired has got one. They got the 122 and the 130. The guy with the 122 wishes he'd gone bigger. The guy with the 130 said he's happy with that. Doesn't necessarily need the size. He's in a suburban setting, so a lot of his lumber doesn't get that big, but he wanted the electric start and those things. The one with the 130, it's on a trailer. The 122, it's not. 122, I wish I had a trailer. So I pulled the trigger. I went with the 126. I think that's going to fit most of my lumber. Did the mill so I can move it around. I got some huge log decks. I'd rather move the mill to the decks right now than the decks to the mill. Part of that because they've all been through the delimber and stuff in the logging process. So they got no bark on them. They got no dirt on them. I know everybody keeps talking about how bad that eat your blades up, so that's where I went. I listened to a lot of those guys out there that wanted to say bad things about woodland mills. The only thing I could find, and when I kept doing that, was that 90% of the time it looked like they messed up. It wasn't the mill. The ones that actually had mill problems, it looks like Woodland Mills takes care of their folks. You got an issue, they fix it. They do it when they shouldn't do it, it looks like. So I'm going to give them a shot. Yeah, it was a big purchase. I think we were in the area of $6,000, somewhere in there. Look at the internet, see what it was. I never remember dollar amounts. It's like the auction money that I posted in 1A, or in episode 1. I spend it, I got it. That's where we end up. I've been throwing out different ideas. Where does Sarge's stuff come from? Well, it has to do with my profession, with my background, with my name. I'm not going to give all that stuff. I know there's too much theft and fraud. Won't go down that road, but whatever. So I was starting kind of that Sarge's sawmilling. Threw some ideas into the AI generators, different things. And I have a really cool logo that I might come up with and use for Sarge's sawmilling when I get there. It's got the sawmill blade, old school blade, a Shar-Pei in the background. In episode 1, I got a couple Shar-Peis. They are the best. I'll never have another dog, and when anything happens to these, oh my gosh. Talk about emotions for me. But so ended up back at the Sarge stuff, because it's not going to be just about milling. It's going to be about auctions. It's going to be about my dogs. It could be about something cool that I came across that day. So we'll start with Sarge's stuff, and that logo I threw up there today with the 3 stripes, kind of making a tree. I'm sure that as time progresses on, I'll probably come up with something better. Maybe use some AI generators. You know, that's the way of the world. Chat GPT, gotta go. I'll take that out. I heard you can't use those names. So I'm gonna throw up that about 13-minute video from earlier. This one's getting at that 6-minute time. Try to wrap up, since I don't have editing software right now. I'm working a full-time job that takes more than full-time, and I've got a house here in Western Washington and the dogs, and then my significant other's some property in Eastern Washington. We've got projects on both and lots of things going on. So I know that all the YouTubers say post frequently, post bad stuff to start with, because it's gonna suck. So here we are. So we're wrapping up on 7 minutes. I'm going to post it, and these 2 episodes out. Probably try to do one probably next weekend. This week at work's going to be a busy work week, so probably won't do much. May throw a video up of my Shar-Peis, because they're what brings me joy too. So until then, have a good time, have a good week, and I hope to talk to y'all and start getting some comments. All right.